My name is Red Robinson. I was the master of ceremonies for the Elvis Presley appearance in Vancouver on August 31st, 1957. What you're about to hear is the total unedited press conference that took place in a dressing room at Empire Stadium in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. The dressing room was normally used by a professional football club. Empire Stadium, 3 years prior to Elvis Presley's appearance, was the site of the 1954 British Empire Games, where John Landy and Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute Miracle Mile in one of this century's most heralded events. A different superstar was now ready to go on stage to the joy of 25,000 fans. The stage was set up at the north end of the stadium. The box office take made his Vancouver appearance the biggest of the 1957 tour. Come with me now backstage with Elvis Presley. He's 22 years of age. Elvis is sitting in a crouched position on top of a large table with the press immediately in front of him with microphones and cameras. Elvis had been carefully positioned in such a way that he could look over the shoulders of the newsman and myself to Colonel Tom Parker in the back of the room. Whenever Elvis had difficulty with a question, he would look in the direction of the colonel for a signal as how to answer it. Here now is the total and original press conference.
Speaking of records, have you got any that are coming out that you recorded that we haven't heard yet?
Yes, the theme song for my next picture will be out about the middle of the next month.
What is the picture?
Jailhouse Rock.
That's a single 45.
Yes.
How did you find Hal Wallace as a producer-director?
He's a very, very, very fine gentleman.
Did he help you out, or who was the big help and aid in your show Loving You?
Well, there's nobody who helps you out. They have a director and a producer. As far as the acting and as far as singing and all, you're on your own. I mean, nobody tells you how to do that. You have to learn it yourself.
How do you rate yourself as an actor?
Pretty bad. I mean, that's something you learn through experience. I think that maybe I might accomplish something at it through the years.
You think it's just the sake of acting natural? Don't you do that? In your last two pictures, I'd say you have.
In some scenes, I was pretty natural. In others, I was trying to act. And when you start trying to act, you're dead.
Mm-hmm. Would you say the Jordanaires helped you a lot in your career with your songs, backing you up?
Well,
I mean, do you think the assist
the
itself...
boys have done a very fine job, the Jordanaires have, but actually there's a lot of groups, you know. There's a lot of very fine groups that back different people up on their records.
They are under contract with Capitol, are they not?
Yes.
I know you're under terrific strain after a show. How do you taper down? What relaxes your nerves after a big show like tonight?
Well, take for instance last night we had a show in Vancouver, and I didn't sleep in it till about 10 o'clock today. I get all keyed up, and it's tough to relax.
What do you do before a show to help defer some of the excitement or the tension?
I just walk around and swallow and clench my fist. Yes, sir.
Pay for that guitar.
What was the question?
The guitar.
Guitar. How much you pay for the guitar?
Well, what do you pay for
About
your guitar?
$500, I think. Yes.
Is it specially constructed or just a standard?
No, it's a standard guitar. I have a leather cover over it. I had that made.
Ladies next.
Do you find that touring is much more harder on you than making movies or doing TV shows?
Well, touring is the roughest part. It's really rough because, I mean, you're in a town and you do a show, you come off, you ride in a car, you're going to the next town.
Do you prefer more to making movies and doing TV, or would you rather just stick to movies and records?
Well, I think every performer likes to work to a live audience.
How's the Pacific Northwest struck you, what you've seen of it and performed?
It's terrific. It's really beautiful country up here.
How's the weather down in Memphis when you left? Or were you in Memphis before coming to the Northwest?
Yes, I was home. It was beautiful weather.
How was the...
Why did you have the Great Northern train stop 2 miles out of town today and get off there?
The train stop.
Sorry, great.
That's also
Planning.
those are all things that are all set up by other people.
I
Have it that way? When your fans were waiting for you?
Well, usually I can't. That's right. I can't get in. You see, I have to prepare for a show that night, and
Not only that, he wants to be around for it, right?
yes, and therefore I have to rest, and we have rehearsals in the afternoon, so I don't have too much time. I'm actually pressed for time. It's not that I'm trying to avoid them, because that's certainly not it. It's just that I I'm rushed for time, and I have to make every moment count when I'm on the road.
You can make more faster time into town in your Cadillac than you can by on the train?
Beg your pardon?
You can make faster time into town on your Cadillac than you can by train?
Well, actually, you're trying to trap me now. I don't know what to say. Next.
Everybody stops all of a sudden.
Have you ever been thrown by a question, Elvis? You've been through a lot of interviews. What question do you dislike the most?
I don't know. Like I said, I've been asked everything. If they're too rough.
If they're too rough?
If they're too rough, I can't answer them naturally.
How do you feel about being asked questions about your personal life? Do you think an entertainer should be asked myriad questions about marriage and what girls he's going with and so forth? How does that strike you personally?
Well, let's face the facts. Anybody that's in the public eye is their life is never private. I mean, everything you do, the public knows about it, and that's the way it's always been. That's the way it'll always be.
Elvis, you've been on the road for a long, long time, and it's about time you had a nice big rest because you deserve it. Where would you like to go for a holiday somewhere?
Africa.
Why? You find
no,
the life...
I don't know. There's a lot of places that I would like to go.
Have you considered a holiday? I mean, you've been on the go for what, 2 years now? Just about a year and a half.
About 4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
Well, this throws a different light on things altogether. What happened 4 years ago? Did you get your start 4 years ago?
Yes.
Where?
In Memphis.
Is that when the first record came out?
Yeah.
What was it? That's All Right, Mama, or something else?
Yeah, that's the name of it. Actually,
53?
Actually, I wasn't known at all until Colonel Parker started managing me. You see, and then I got on RCA Victor and on television, and then I started being known.
Before that time, you were recording on the Sun label for
Yes.
Sam Phillips down in Memphis.
Yes, I was known in certain sections, you know, but I wasn't known all over.
Was the record, was it Dewey that played the first one? Is he related to the other Phillips in any way?
No, they're not. They're no kin.
Just a coincidence.
He says he was the first one to play it. I don't know.
You want to go abroad someday, Elvis?
Beg your pardon?
You want to go overseas someday?
Yes, I would like to. I would like to. That wasn't me, folks. It's these guys clashing these mics.
Sword fighting.
What are your thoughts on permanent retirement?
I'd like to.
So voluntary. On your own free will.
Retirement?
Yeah. What do you think about it? Just quitting. When?
I'll put it like this. I'll never quit as long as I'm doing okay.
You'll never quit. What do you consider doing okay?
Well, I mean, as long as you're pleasing the people, you'd be foolish to quit.
Elvis, we're running a marathon right after this interview here tonight from 11 until whatever time it takes tomorrow morning. Would you like to say something to everybody out there tonight listening into the show? Would you like to say, to look for your new release or anything? Just say hi to them all?
I sure would. And I'd like to tell everybody, see, Jill, I was right. Sure.
Well, that's good.
Get it a plug. No, I would like to tell everybody how very much I appreciate it, them listening to my records and everything. And,
well, I can say this much.
I'll do my best to continue to please them and put out songs and movies that they like.
Well, thank you very kindly.
Elvis. Oh, go ahead.
When you get caught in a mob or something, have you ever been seriously hurt by the girls?
Yes, I've been scratched and bitten and everything. Huh?
What do you think about it?
What do you think about being scratched?
What do I think of? Well, I just accept it with a broad mind because actually they don't intend to hurt you. I mean, it's not that. They want pieces of you for souvenirs.
Elvis, you got a crowd out here tonight. What do you consider your best crowd, your best show that you've ever had? I mean, every entertainer feels like, well, in this town here I had a terrific time and everybody was wonderful. What do you consider your favorite place?
Well, I have no favorite place.
No, but the one that stands out in your memory, shall we say?
Probably the biggest crowd was in Dallas, Texas last year.
Was that a good crowd?
Yes, I played the Cotton Bowl. I had 32,000 people there.
Wow.
What is that stone in the beautiful ring on your left hand?
That's Star Sapphire. There was a girl gave that to me in California. A crowd of people can hurt you and not even realize they're doing it, you know.
Elvis, you haven't much of a private life right now, then, have you?
No, sir, I haven't.
Where do you go for a quiet cup of coffee nowadays?
When I'm traveling around, I don't go anywhere. I just eat in a room.
When do you head out to the Army, Elvis?
The Army?
Yeah, are you going into the Army or military service?
I haven't heard from them. I don't know.
You haven't heard anything from them at all?
I haven't.
So you weren't linked to Confidential Magazine, but what do you think of the Confidential Magazine trial?
Well, I don't know what to think about it. It's just so I don't get involved in it. That's all I worry about. It doesn't matter much.
How do you like the motion picture field, Elvis?
I think it's great. In fact, I like it better than any phase of the business, other than the public appearances.
You rather be in movies than sing, shall we say?
Well, no, I'm not going to say that.
You don't want to commit yourself there, eh?
No.
Okay.
Why don't we see more of you on television, seeing that you can command such big fees?
Big audience.
I don't know. I guess Colonel Parker could probably answer that if he's here. He's not here,
we'll
is he?
Speak to him later, Elvis. And what about your trip? What's your reaction been of girls across different sections of the country? Are they all the same?
Well, crowds of young people are pretty well the same all over the country, I found out.
Well, Canadians are supposed to be a little more subdued. Have you found that with Canadian girls?
Don't you get tired of newsmen and the cameramen all the time, Elvis?
No, I don't mind them.
No, really?
Would you say rock and roll craze is dying, Elvis?
No, sir, I don't think it's dying. I'm not saying that it won't die out, but I don't think it is right now.
Elvis, who would you say is responsible for your greatest success in the music field? I mean, getting your big start away. Where did you get your start? Was it in Western music that you got your start? How did Hank Snow fit into the picture if he did?
Well, at the time that I started singing, Colonel Tom Parker was managing Hank Snow.
I see.
And that's how we got connected. I don't know why Hank and my name were linked together so much, because actually we wasn't connected in any way in business. I just worked on some of Hank's personal appearances.
Do you know his son at all?
Yeah, Jimmy Rogers Snow, yes.
Yeah, did you ever pal around with him or anything?
Yes, quite a bit.
Did you go to school with him down in Memphis?
No, I never went to school.
You know Dewey Phillips down in Memphis?
Very well.
He said to say hello to you. I was talking to him on the phone this afternoon.
Good deal.
Elvis, is your first love Western music?
No, sir, it's not. My first, I would say, would be spiritual music.
Like Peace in the Valley and that.
Not exactly that. I mean, some of the old colored spirituals, from years back.
Elvis, your actions make quite a reaction in the audience. What is your opinion of the audience?
What is my appearance of, would you say that again?
What is your opinion? What is your opinion of the people who...
Opinion of the audience.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would make it would look pretty funny out there without one, but actually, I suppose you're talking about all the yelling and everything.
That's right.
Actually, it's good because it covers up my mistakes, you see. Whenever I hit a sour note, well, nobody knows it but me.
What's this new flame? Anita, is it? Anita Wood?
Anita Wood, well, she's
She's what, Elvis?
Oh, incidentally, she won a beauty contest last night where she gets a 7-year contract with Paramount Pictures. She called me last night.
Well, we're firing questions right and left here. Let me fire one at you. If everything folded up tomorrow, which it isn't going to by looks of things, what would you do? What would you do?
Go back to driving a truck.
You like driving a truck?
No, I don't know what I would do. That's counting your chickens before they hatch. Actually, I'd like to become I'd like to learn a lot about acting.
Who was your favorite actor on the screen, Elvis?
I have quite a few.
How about James Dean? Did you like him?
Yes.
You really did?
And Yul Brynner and Marlon Brando and quite a few of them.
Any plans for more motion pictures?
Yes, I have contracts for about 8 more.
What about TV appearances? We don't see you too often on TV, except on the Ed Sullivan Show occasionally.
Well, I have no control over that, you see. I have an agent, a manager that takes care of that for me. I don't even know.
Are you happier now, or were you happier when you were driving a truck and could have a quiet cup of coffee?
Well, I'm happier now in a lot of ways, and in some ways, I mean, I was having a lot of fun then,
What do you think of TV? I mean, compared to the movies, you worked in both of them. What do you think of TV? I mean, not that we're slamming.
I like movies better than I do TV work.
Because you've got more time to do things right?
If you goof on movies, you can just go back and take it over. In TV, you just goof.
I see what you mean. There's no time to repair the mistakes.
There's no going back and taking it over. That's right.
Elvis, how are you fixed for the future? I know the contract with Victor is good for future years. What are your plans in the future?
Well, I have quite a few things. I have 2 music firms, and then I have, like I said, a 7-year contract with Paramount Pictures, whereas each year it amounts to more money.
When you see things sold on the street, some of them saying, I like Elvis, and others saying other things, do you get money for each kind? Do you get a percentage when they sell an I hate Elvis button?
To be truthful, I really don't know.
It's hard to keep track.
Yes, it is. In fact, I don't know who sells the I hate Elvis buttons.
Well, it's the same man who sells the I like.
Say, Elvis, you come in for
He's a communist.
You come in for a lot of criticism on your wiggling on the stage, and some people have called it suggestive. Do you mean it to be suggestive?
No, I've never thought of it as being suggestive. It's just, that's just my way of expressing the song.
Well, you seem to be popular enough on your singing and appearance alone. Would you stop the wiggling if criticism grew too fast?
No, sir, I can't.
It's part of you.
It's toning it down.
Like 2 songs are called Love Me Tender, Love Me, they're kind of quiet.
Well, to be truthful, I can't do ballads nearly as well as I can the other kind because I don't have a voice for it.
Do you think disc jockeys made you?
Definitely, yes. I mean, well, if disc jockeys didn't play it, the people couldn't hear it, so they wouldn't know what was happening, you know. So,
who were some of your favorite singers?
I contributed to a little bit of everything. I contributed largely to the people that have accepted me, and then the disc jockeys and the good handling that I've had, the management and everything.
Getting back to religious songs, if you could put an album out, say an extended play, what songs would you put on it? I mean, have you ever considered any of them? Some of the ones you maybe know?
Are you talking about religious?
Religious songs, yes.
Oh, I know practically every religious song that's ever been written.
Is that right?
Yes.
What do you think of Pat Boone?
I think he's undoubtedly the finest voice out now, especially on slow songs. I mean, I'm not saying that to make me look good. I actually think that. I mean, I thought that, you know, Boone was recording before I was, and I bought his records even back then.
What chance do you think the female vocalist has of getting in the limelight or on the top 10 nowadays?
You talking about any female vocalist?
No, just female vocalists in general.
Oh, well,
I mean, do you like their singing?
Yes, I would imagine it's just according to the songs they sing.
I see.
In other words, your material can make you or break you. If you sing a good song, well, naturally it'll sell. If you sing a bad one, it won't.
Gotcha.
What is your favorite female singer right now?
Patti Page and K-Star.
What's your favorite of the songs you've recorded?
Don't Be Cruel.
Don't Be Cruel.
Yes.
I've got a good one here. Why do all the good artists come from Tennessee?
I don't know.
Is it real rhythm crazy down there? I mean, people are really happy for the music? I mean, because that's the way it sounds on record.
Yes, it is. I don't know. I suppose you're speaking of Pat Boone and
yourself,
others.
yeah.
Elvis, are there any plans in the immediate future for marriage?
No, sir. None whatsoever.
How are your mom and dad?
None that I know of.
How are your mom and dad? Where are they now?
They're in Memphis. They're at home. I talked to them this afternoon.
Well, how do they feel about you being on the road all the time? I mean, doesn't it bother them? And they like to see their son once in a while, I imagine.
Well, it's my life, you know.
Yeah.
And, they don't say too much about it.
They accept it other ways.
Yeah.
One thing that's got a big plug recently is the fact that if you went into the Army, you'd have to have your hair cut. How do you feel on that? An awful lot of newspaper publicity on it.
Well,
would it bother you too?
No, I don't care.
Doesn't bother you?
It'll grow back. I mean, if it was a case of cutting it off and never having any more, then I would grumble.
What about the sideburns trademark?
Well, I'm stuck with them. I had them long when I was old enough to grow them. When I was about 16 years old.
No particular reason.
I just got stuck with them. I can't get rid of them now.
What's your age, Elvis?
22.
How does it feel to be right at the top of the entertainment world? Are there any drawbacks to it?
A few.
What are they?
Well,
besides a million women.
I guess these. It has its advantages and its disadvantages.
Don't you seek out privacy all the time? Isn't that it?
Yes. Well, that is the main thing. I mean, naturally, you can't go places like other people. You can't go to ball games. You can't go to the local theater and things like that. Like back at home, whenever I want to see a movie, well, I have the theater manager show it to me after the theater closes up at night. We have a fairgrounds there, and I rent the fairgrounds after it closes up. And sometimes, use it.
How was your success
Well, in a lot of different ways. They're just like they've always been. I mean, as far as being themselves, but it's a kind of a strain on them because, you know, people never leave them alone. To be truthful about it. Yes.
You moved into your new home in Graceland. Elvis, we've heard newspaper accounts about a few scuffles you've been in where the other fellow seemed to get the end of your fist. What about these newspaper reports? Are they accurate?
Yes, sir, I would imagine.
What happened? Did you lose your temper?
Well, just a case of get them or be got, you know.
What started the incidents most of the time?
Somebody hitting me or trying to hit me. I mean, I can take all of, you know, I can take ridicule and slander, and I've been called names, you know, right to my face and everything. That I can take, but I've had a few guys that try to take a swing at me, and naturally you can't just stand there. You got to do something.
What's your favorite sport, Elvis?
Football.
You like playing football?
Yes.
Where were those pictures taken in that fan mag there with you playing football?
It was taken at a park near my house.
That's down in Memphis?
Yeah.
I see.
It's been said that your only extravagance or extravagances have been your cars. Would that be accurate?
Yes, it's accurate. I'm just now realizing how extravagant it was, but because I have too many. I mean, nobody drives them. They set up and they get stale and the tires go down on them. Actually, I have no need for them. I just went crazy when I.
What about shirts, Elvis?
Elvis?
What about your shirts? You got a fad for shirts, haven't you?
I had for shirts.
Well, I tell you what I did the other day. I had a German-made Messerschmitt, a little car.
Yeah.
And there's a guy there in town that has been wanting that Messerschmitt for the last year. And so he owns a clothing store, one of the top clothing stores in Memphis. So I went up there the other day and I told him, I said, you've been wanting that car so bad. I said, I'll make a deal with you. He said, okay. And I said, you let me pick out all the clothes in here that I want. You can have the car. So I was up there for about 2 hours and a half, and the store was a wreck when I left.
What do you think of serious music? Do you ever listen to it, Albert?
Serious music?
Like opera?
Symphony?
Truthfully, I don't understand it. I'm not going to knock it. I just don't understand it, just like I don't understand jazz.
What do you think of young actresses as dates? How do they compare with the girls back home that you dated before you were a star?
Well, they're just like everybody else. They just got a lucky break and in life. It's like other girls.
How about your fabulous collection of teddy bears? What started that?
All that got started from a rumor. It was an article came out that I collected stuffed animals, and I was swamped with them. Naturally, I keep them because the people give them to me, but I never even thought of collecting stuffed animals in my life.
Do you appreciate them now that you have them, or
Yeah,
you just save them?
I keep them. I have them all over the walls and in the chairs and everywhere else.
The press conference is ended. Elvis and I now proceed to another dressing room to wait for an hour before his stage appearance. We take you now to an area just inside the stadium where a radio newsman describes the scene. You will hear the crowd go wild as I introduce Elvis. He comes running out of a tunnel and into a waiting Cadillac convertible. He then is driven around the entire oval track of the stadium. At the end of his ride is the stage. He jumps out of the car, runs up the back stairs, and begins his show. These excerpts of the Elvis Presley show in Vancouver show Elvis at his most vibrant.
The big Cadillac drove up in front of the B section of the stadium and is now sitting there waiting for Elvis to come out of the dressing room. All the lights are out in the stadium now, and the car is just sitting there waiting. Just your crowd on the west side where I'm now standing. I'm standing right at the dressing room waiting for him to come out. The photographer's also waiting here for a vantage spot so they can take their picture as he gets into the big car. Here's your introduction for Red Robinson.
Elvis Presley, 1957. And that's the way